Hi guys, so this is going to be my very first tag video, which I'm pretty excited about. I recently came across the Wanderlust tag by amandamuse through Essie Button, and I thought it was a great way to sort of introduce myself to the YouTube world, because I love to travel. Oops. Okay, so let's get started here. The first question: what is your most treasured passport stamp? I brought my passport for you to see here. I actually just got a new one, so you can see this one has been retired. But I was going through, I have a ton of stamps in here. I counted them a few times. First time I got 46, second time I got 48. I think 48 is the accurate count. But you know when they stamp sometimes and it's very faint and then they blend into each other, you can't tell how many stamps there are? I had that problem. So anyways, I was going through just kind of reminding myself of all the places that I had been prior to receiving my new passport that just came. And I don't know if this counts, but my favorite is actually my visa for when I studied abroad in the UK. I did that my third year of college and it was an amazing time. I really enjoyed it and I'm so glad I studied abroad. I recommend it to anybody. So that has the most memories with it. But the first one I actually thought of when I first heard this question was the one that I got when we were entering Croatia. And I think it's this one, but I'm not sure. I forgot the city name, but I was on a train and it was the middle of the night. We had to stop because we had reached the border. And so the border patrol comes on and, you know, they go through all of the compartments and check our IDs and whatnot. And I think most of the travelers were European, so it wasn't a big deal. They didn't get stamps, but I did, so that was pretty cool. And then unfortunately we kept on going right through Croatia and went on to Hungary, which is where I was going. So I still do want to go back there and check out that country. Okay, question number 2. Can you recite your passport number from memory if asked? No, I know the first 3 digits, and I don't even know if the new one, if the number changed for that. I haven't even looked. So if I was ever in a rut and I needed to recite that, it's a no-go. And even my driver's license, I don't know why, I just can't seem to remember it. I've tried to memorize it so many times, it's not even hard, and I can't. I don't know. I'm usually really good with numbers. Like, I'm great at remembering phone numbers and credit card numbers and things like that, but I guess ID numbers are different. Although I do know my social security very well. Okay, number 3. Preferred method of travel, planes, trains, or automobiles? And this is a super tough one for me because it really just depends on what your intention is. I think one of the least experienced is the beauty of trains and taking a cross-country trip, or at least a longish trip where you have a bed. It's really fun for me to just sit and look out the window, watch the landscape kind of continuously change, and also be able to get up and do whatever I want, not have to buckle my seatbelt and anything like that. So if I don't need to travel too far, I think a train is pretty nice. But at the same time, I do like the control that you get from driving a car, so that you can stop at any point if you need to make a pit stop somewhere, if you want to check out something. So I don't like seeing something cool, and this happens on planes too. I look down and I see something really awesome, like I want to go there, and I have no idea where we are, I have no idea what that is, so how do I get back, right? Okay. Number 4, my top 3 travel items. This is super tough for me. I heard a lot of people say camera, and yes, that's also very important to me, or at least my phone, with enough memory space for pictures and videos. And, gosh, I really can't think of anything. Oh, a jacket or blanket. Something that I can layer on to keep warm with, because I get pretty sensitive to the cold, and I don't want to have to deal with that. And I mean, I really couldn't think of a third item. Other than, you know, travel basics, having some money and ID. clothing, at least a change or two. I mean, I don't travel so that I can bring stuff with me, if that makes sense, so I'm fine with traveling light. But I guess in the name of comfort, I do like my own toiletries, so I know what I'm putting on my skin and stuff. Okay, number 5, hostel or hotel. If I'm traveling alone, I love hostels. They are a lot cheaper, of course, but also you meet some really fun people there, as long as you're open to it, of course. And so when I'm alone, it's nice to at least in a fleeting moment meet some friends and go out, have fun with them, explore the city together, and then you kind of part ways and move on. But if I'm with family or friends, I do prefer a hotel because it's a lot more comfortable. You can split the cost that way, or if you're traveling with your parents, then they might foot the bill, and it's a lot more comfortable, but then you don't get as much of the local flair, I guess. So it's really a trade-off. Okay, number 6. Are you a repeat visitor or do you explore new places? I'm totally a new places kind of person. How many countries have I been to? I don't know. I've been to dozens of countries, and it's not that I don't want to go back, but there are still plenty of places I want to explore before I want to keep on returning to the same place. My boyfriend is just the opposite though, and we've agreed to choose a different vacation spot every other year. So I get to choose this year. I chose the UK just because I want to show him around. But then he gets to choose next year, and last year he chose Hawaii, so I think that next year it's going to be Hawaii again. So it looks like I will have to be forced into return visiting. Not that I don't like going back, but I still like checking out new places. Now, number 7, do you read up on your destination, culture, history, safety, or do you wing it? I do a little bit of research. I mean, I don't look up the safety really. I think you kind of already know based on the news if there are certain trouble areas in the world and just avoid those. And, through various classes and stuff, you've probably got a decent impression of whatever place you might be going to. So I just like to look up what sort of attractions they have that I might want to go see, and that helps me get an idea of how long I would need at each place and how I need to kind of plan my time that way. But I never really have a set schedule, and when I spent 5 weeks traveling through Europe, and I was by myself for about half that time, and when I was doing that I just showed up, and the night that I showed up is when I started really looking into what they had to offer, and the next day I'd just go out and start exploring and checking things off my list, like, okay, cool, seen this, done that, and there's a lot of other opportunities you grab along the way when you don't plan too much, so I like that. Favorite travel website? I heard a lot of people say Travel Advisor. I've actually never used that site, so I don't know, I guess it's a really useful site, maybe I should look into it. My favorite currently is GoGoBot. My favorite feature on it is the Ask a Question, where you can actually pose a question and say, hey, I'm going to this place, do you have recommendations? Like, I was in Long Beach a couple weeks ago, and I really had no idea what kind of food they had nearby, and I was trying to search on Yelp for stuff, wasn't really coming up with anything great. So I put a question up and I said, hey, anybody have recommendations for some nice restaurants? Pretty laid back, nothing upscale or anything like that. And I got a couple of responses. I ended up going to 2 of the restaurants that were suggested, and I enjoyed that. It was so much nicer than trying to figure it out on my own. So the community on GoGoBot is really amazing. And they also host all these events. I just went to an event a couple weeks back as well, and it's so much fun. If you want to connect with other like-minded people, you should check out that site too. Okay, number 9, where would you recommend a friend to visit? Name the city and why. And I would probably go with Thailand. So I think anybody can enjoy a beautiful, peaceful, serene surrounding. Even if you're really into, you know, big city stuff, if you really want to go shopping, I mean, there are those really fun markets and bazaars that you can go to. Like, what was it? The Patong market, I think it was? I don't remember. But it's a huge market, and you just get lost in there all day long looking at awesome local things and like random trinkets and all kinds of fun stuff. So I enjoy that. And it's also great for anybody who wants to go and relax. You know, you can chill at the beach. I got my very first hot stone massage there, and it was amazing. And they also included a, what's it called, like a steam shower, steam room thing that was very relaxing and refreshing at the same time. So that was a great experience. And finally, okay, I almost made it through before I ran out of memory on my camera. Oh gosh, why do videos take up so much memory space? Okay, so number 10, you're leaving tomorrow, money is no object, where are you going? And just a side note, do you say money is no object? I've actually never used that phrase before, so I thought it was kind of interesting. Okay, so if I had all the money in the world, I would literally go everywhere. I mean, I'd bring my boyfriend and I would spend just months traveling all over the world. There are so many places that I want to check out, either for the first time or again. I mean, I haven't been to New Zealand or Japan yet, and those are kind of top of my list. And there's random places like Djibouti and Bora Bora, which I did a class project on when I was a kid, so it's almost one of those things I was like, oh wow, really? There's a place called Bora Bora? Because I knew a girl, her last name was Bora, and I thought that was pretty cool, so there's so many little hidden treasures I'd like to discover. You know, all those random countries that you haven't heard of, or that not many people get to go to, like Bhutan, because how many? I think you have to pay like 200? I don't know, it's a couple $100s you have to pay just to go to the country, which is very interesting. So then I'd be spending my money on things like that, getting into countries that charge you. And I would also take my boyfriend out to space. I think that'd be pretty cool, and he would love it. So I would literally go everywhere within, I don't know, a couple 100-mile radius of the surface of the Earth. Oh, maybe actually, you know, if we could go to the moon. I don't know, how long does it take to go to the moon? Maybe not that far. Probably just out to space a little bit, out to orbit, get to see the Earth from, you know, that perspective where you can see an entire continent at a time, or at least countries at a time. That would be pretty cool. And yeah, that's it. So thank you to amandamuse for coming up with this tag. I had a lot of fun with it, and hopefully I'll be finding some more to do. Thanks for watching. Bye bye!